This is Kat Kerr. I call her pink hair, don't care. She believes that people are drinking baby, sticking straws in their arms like it's a Capri Sun. Just listen to the stuff she had to say in this insane live stream that she gave the other day.
It was the evil people thinking they were going to take over, and they knew that they could cheat, they could lie, and when that didn't work, they'd start killing. And I'm just going to be very blunt.
So she thinks, I'm trying to get it straight. She thinks that they, being the Democrats, me and you, I guess, when we realized that we couldn't win the election, then we started killing. Is that what she's saying?
The storms, although they didn't get to use Milton the way they did Helen.
It is. It is what she's saying. She's saying Democrats created a hurricane to take out large swaths of the country. And how would that even help? Democrats got caught in that too. What are you talking about? You know, fewer voters makes it more likely that Republicans will win, that the right wins, fewer voters. And that's kind of a rule that spans democracies. Right-leaning people, extremists particularly, win when there's lower voter turnout. So, you know, the right has historically used voter suppression tactics to make it more difficult to vote because they know their people will crawl over broken glass to vote. But who wants to stand in line for 8 hours to get into the polling location to vote? Republicans closed down a bunch of polling locations in Georgia specifically to make this more difficult for voters, that kind of thing. Voter suppression helps the far right. So this whole run a hurricane through a red state so that blah, 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 whatever, that's just made up. That's not how it works, like at all.
Storms, although they didn't get to use Milton the way they did Helen.
You mean Helene?
And
what do you mean they? Who is they? Again, it's us, right? We didn't get to use Milton like Helene. I'm not sure what she means by that. I mean, she believes that we have a hurricane gun, like straight up, literally just a gun that we aim at a state and pull the trigger, and boom, there's a hurricane.
They're able to control those storms, and their whole purpose is to destroy land enough and tell people they can't come back because it's been defiled. Well, they defiled it and they destroyed it, usually for what's in the land that they can use or take advantage of. They're wanting to build their own communist communities. I'm not making any of this up, okay?
Yes, oh my God, dude. It's so ridiculous. I wonder if she really believes this stuff. I think she does. This is insane.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't do that, she said. I don't make things up. She's the one that has said that God lives in a big, like, jello thing, a big thing of jello, basically. He lives in gelatin. She's also said that there's a body parts warehouse in heaven. You can requisition body parts, and there's even a bureaucracy. There's an angel that sits at a desk all day waiting for prayers to come in so that they can go get it, and they put it in a gift box and wrap it, and then they walk through. Anyway, just so stupid, dude. She doesn't make things up, she says. Okay, go on.
Usually for what's in the land that they can use or take advantage of. They're wanting to build their own communist communities. I'm not making any of this up, okay? I don't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid for my own life because God would take them down if he had to, and he would.
Again, she thinks Democrats are coming for her. These people, like, how do we tell the difference between mental illness and just absolutely unhinged belief? They're indistinguishable from each other.
These are days where people who never saw evil before.
He's crying right now. Again, I watched this whole live stream. If you want to see it, Owen Morgan Unfiltered, it's on that channel. Anyway, he's crying right now because she just got through saying all this insane, emotional propaganda about how when you get to heaven, you get to, like, keep your baby that you aborted or some other like, oh my God, dude, just, it is so disgusting what she does. And I guess Steve Schultz lost a kid when he was younger, or I don't know exactly what happened, but it hit him hard right here. This fictitious scenario that Kat Kerr dreamed up on the spot, I'm guessing, is making him cry.
They don't know what to do. They're experiencing it. There's a lot of people filled with fear, thinking, well, if, I'm just going to say it out, if Kamala wins, will we all be destroyed? And
yeah, this was voting day. So this is like 2 p.m. We didn't know that Trump is going to win yet.
If Kamala wins, will we all be destroyed? And that's Satan's plan, of course, to destroy our country, to take everything away from us, to be.
Well, that's interesting because she prophesied from God that Trump was going to win. So why is she even talking about Kamala winning? I don't understand. This is the exact same thing that happened 4 years ago. Yes, Trump won this time around, but 4 years ago, she claimed that God told her that Trump would win over and over and over again, and she was wrong. Hilariously wrong. I don't understand why she's saying this now. Did she not learn her lesson in 2020?
And that's Satan's plan, of course, to destroy our country, to take everything away from us, to be controlled, to have to live a communist kind of life, a dictator, have a dictator. Yeah. They already act like they are dictators.
How? How do Democrats act like dictators? What are you talking about? Nobody wants it. Well, all right, let me rephrase. Democrats don't want a dictator. Okay, I certainly don't want a dictator. Get a grip, Cat. I cannot tell if this is mental illness. Anyway, I was talking about like drinking baby blood and all that. Listen to this one.
They stole it.
They stole it.
They cheated in the elections. They stole the White House. They stole these seats. They stole it because they want.
Oh, wow. Stole it was not it wasn't a mistake. That was intentional, it seems, right? She actually said stole it multiple times. She thinks that that's what, like, the actual way it's pronounced, stoled.
These seats, they stole it because they wanted to corrupt it. They wanted to take over from the very beginning.
How does she write that? STOLED, do you think?
Stole it because they wanted to corrupt it. They wanted to take over from the very beginning. That was their plan. They're not going to change. They're working the plan. That's why they're talking about killing the babies even at birth.
Who is talking about that? Where are you hearing this? Nobody wants that. Nobody. Literally not one person. I am not pro-choice. I am pro-abortion. I want to see more of it. I want people to drop the stigma behind it and be more comfortable getting it done if they need to. Not feel shamed or, feel like they murdered or some other shit. I want them to do what they need to do if they need to. Now, as a pro-abortion person, I don't want post-birth abortion. Like, who even came up with that term? I want Roe v. Wade, which was, you can't do it past 20 weeks. In fact, 20 weeks is pretty high. But I'll go with Roe v. Wade since it was settled law for a long time. It was good. It was a good law. After 20 weeks, you have to have some serious problem, like the head is filled with water instead of a brain, or like you're going to die if you don't have it done or something like that. That's Roe v. Wade. Nobody wants 9th month abortion. Get a grip on reality.
The babies even at birth. I mean, they don't want to, changing the sex of a child without the parents' permission.
Nobody is doing that. Nobody wants that. My God, dude, she's gone. Like, there is nothing knocking around up there, seems to me, right? Nothing but Trump, but MAGA propaganda. That's it. Just MAGA propaganda. No one is trying to change the sex of a child without the parents knowing. There isn't like a school counselor at every school convincing children to be trans or whatever and then getting them surgery. Jesus Christ.
Do you want that to happen to your children? You need to vote for Trump. I'm just going to say it.
That's good.
God would vote for Trump if he was living on this earth. He is for right. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Just freedom and liberty.
Freedom and liberty. Interesting terms to use.
That's what America is about.
Freedom and liberty, huh? While trying to take people's freedoms and liberty, while explaining why people should have less freedom in, like, for abortions or for transitioning or whatever other thing, while describing those things, she says she wants more liberty and freedom. What's that quote from 1984? Freedom is slavery, truth is lies, something.
America is not about letting the people, the criminals and the terrorists flood our borders. That would be insane if you were the head of a country. Somebody would have taken you out somewhere and shot you.
That is insane. That is a disturbing thing to say. That's pretty on the nose. I mean, I think it's clear what she wants, right?
And I can let you know right now, God is not tolerating you doing that. You take their life, you drink their blood. How long do you think you're going to live?
Drink their blood. Children, of course, what she's saying. You're drinking children's blood.
And when you get to hell, you'll be tormented worse than everybody else. That's the way Satan pays you back.
And when you talk about those that kill those babies, you're not saying, I don't think you're referring to women that had an abortion and have been forgiven. You're talking about people who literally are part of trafficking, kidnapping, torturing, killing.
Yes,
babies, right?
I'm talking about those who plan it.
Oh my God, dude, get a grip. You know, QAnon claimed that there were, I think, 400,000 missing children per year in the U.S. or something. I don't remember the numbers now. I looked into this pretty heavily at the time because that QAnon claim is partnered with the idea that those children are all being kidnapped and sold into slavery or whatever to drink their blood or to sacrifice them to Satan or whatever other thing. All 400,000 per year, which, you know, over the course of 10 years, that's 4 million. You know, that's a lot of children, except that's not real. None of it is real. That number is an estimate and massively overinflated. And in addition to that, I forget what it was, 75% of them or something were teen runaways. People that didn't want to be in their home anymore because they were like with an abusive family or something. Couldn't stay and left. And even the ones that were found, it didn't matter. The report stayed there and QAnoners pulled this data from reports. Any reports, even if like little Timmy sees a Baskin Robbins in the mall and walks toward it to like eat ice cream out of the tub or something, and the mom is at Claire's checking out little earrings and stuff and doesn't even notice. She calls the police, they show up, they write a report, and they say, oh, he was in the ice cream tub the whole time. How about that? Report is still on record, still counts. Those scenarios make up the vast majority of missing children cases. There are a few situations in which children are trafficked, like they're sold into slavery for one reason or another, usually sex slavery. But it's not random people grabbing kids off of a playground. It's almost always family members who like, or people that groom them or whatever. It's an incredibly small number, something we should care about very much. But all of this stuff in her head is fake. It's all fake. And she's convinced Democrats are doing this. I am the quintessential example of what she is talking about. I would consider myself so, right? I'm left-leaning and I'm an atheist, we'll say. I can tell you unequivocally, beyond question, you live in a delusion, Kat. This is not happening, okay? Like, I have an overwhelming urge to grab her by the shoulders and shake her and say, come back to reality. Seriously, what is wrong with you? But even that wouldn't change a thing. It wouldn't do anything. She is stuck in this rabbit hole probably for the rest of her life. She will never find her way out of this.
Kidnapping, torturing, killing.
Yes,
babies, right?
I'm talking about those who plan it, who carry it out themselves. I'm talking about those people. It says in the Bible, those who take the life of the children, those who actually take their life.
Of course, you know, to drink their blood, you have to take their life, apparently, in her mind.
Those who come and medically, or even not medically, they, just so you know.
Medically or even not medically. I assume she's talking about transitioning now, right? Those who medically or non-medically transition kids. What is non-medically transitioning kids? Is that like taking a chainsaw and cutting things off? I don't understand. And again, this isn't happening. This is a fictitious scenario that is passed around QAnon circles to freak people out. The total number of people like on puberty blockers is in the low thousands. I don't remember what it is now. I looked it up a while back. And, you know, puberty blockers are used for other things other than being trans or whatever, because we needed those things outside of being trans.
No, this is part of their plan.
It's part of their plan. Check this clip out. This gives us another glimpse into their minds, into what they think is happening in dark corners, what they think the majority of the world is doing.
Americans have become live and let live and don't bother.
Oh, no. Americans became live and let live, don't bother others. We can't have that. We can't have freedom. That's not okay. I pause here because he's leading this story with that statement. Keep that statement in your head for a moment. Live and let live.
Americans have become live and let live and don't bother anyone too much about where they are. But in these last 4 years, we're hearing so many things. I even heard, I'm not going to say the name of the show. There's a very famous comedy show. It doesn't air anymore. That series is over, but it was very funny. And someone was there in the studio, and they had trouble with the camera or something one day, so they had a 15-20 minute break where they had to wait for them to fix it before they could keep shooting it, because they shoot these before a live audience.
Yeah.
And
yeah, they used to anyway. I don't know if they do that still.
Yeah.
And in order to help them be successful with fixing the cameras, the actors who were all on set during that scene started praising Lucifer, worshiping Satan, right there in front of the crowd.
Get a grip on reality. Nobody is doing that.
And in my wildest imaginations, I would have thought, surely there's not really people who worship Satan.
Yeah, grab onto that, latch onto it with all your might, and accept that what you're saying is insane. Nobody did this. He's like the most gullible dude on planet Earth. No, I can't say that. There are way more gullible people than him, surprisingly.
And are so into it that they'll do it in front of other people and not even care. And
God, dude,
believe that by their worship of Satan, their show will prosper. Imagine what happened to those people. Anyway, so in other words,
there really are people that wicked. See, there really are people that wicked. No.
Oh my God, dude, there really are people that wicked. I suppose there's like a small group of Satanists. There are groups of Satanists around. They are not praying to Satan to fix cameras and stuff. What? And it's like really small. It's probably about as small, even maybe half the size of the group of people that believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Like half the size of that group, even less.
No, they call Satanism a religion, it's not.
Oh, that's an interesting thing to say. It's not, you say. Okay. I'll tell you what, Kat, I'm going to save this clip and we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
It's a false religion.
That's not
but there are people that are raised that way. They're raised in it. But even though some are raised in it, they don't want it.
It's just like fictitious scenario after fictitious scenario. All right, check this clip out. She has like everything that comes out of her mouth is just Republican MAGA propaganda. She's about to tell us what she thinks is happening with immigrants, how immigrants are gaining citizenship so that they can vote in elections. Not happening, obviously, but here's what she thinks.
That they are giving citizenship to these illegal aliens on purpose. Terrorists, murderers, criminals. They're giving them the right to be a citizen of.
That takes like 7 years. It's a very complicated process. People are not just getting citizenship. I read about the process. You have to get a visa, which means permission to enter the country, or apply for refugee status, which is why the border is open at that point. It's a humanitarian corridor, so people can make it to a UN refugee center to apply for asylum. That's the majority of people that are walking over the border. So if you don't get a visa, you have to do that. Then you apply for a green card. You hold this green card. It looks like a little driver's license. You hold this green card as your ID for 5 to 7 years before you can take a civics test and a whole bunch of other stuff. They dig your background and pull it apart. They research upside down, backward, and forward to see if you are concerning in any way, shape, or form. Because as a U.S. citizen, if you're taken hostage in another country, The U.S. government now has an obligation to try to save you somehow. They take giving people citizenship very seriously. It's a very difficult process for non-citizens. 5 to 7 years. Then they can vote. That's reality. Now, let's listen to Kat Kerr's delusion.
On purpose, terrorists, murderers, criminals, they're giving them the right to be a citizen of this country. And they're taking our money that we use in America to pay things or pay for stuff, for America itself.
Oh no, using our money that was given to the government in the form of taxes to buy things for America itself? Tell me it isn't so.
For stuff, for America itself. They're taking money because they don't have money. They're not spending their money. I'm talking the ones high up in authority that don't have the right to do that. They're making criminal laws.
What the hell is she talking about?
Legal. And so not only are they legalizing their citizenship, which there is a protocol. You can't just go in the store and buy a license or something.
And there it is. You can't just go into a store and buy a license. The people at the very top are just giving away citizenship. They're going to a store and buying a license.
You can't just go in the store and buy a license or something. I think this is, I'm an American citizen. The Constitution and our Bill of Rights is clear about how you do that. You have to go through a protocol. You've got to study about this country. You have to go to classes to learn things about this country. You have to sign papers saying you're willing to obey by the laws of our country, not the illegal laws that they're making and putting on the books. They'd like to do away with. They want to do away with everything.
What is she talking about? Illegal laws. What does this mean? I'm not discounting it out of hand because many of the laws in Germany in, the Nazi era were internationally illegal, were terrible. Like they rewrote the murder description to exempt people from murder charges if they killed Jews or whatever, things like that. Most of the things the Nazis did were not illegal under German law because they had exemptions. So I'm not discounting that out of hand, but I don't know what the hell she's talking about. What laws are being passed to make illegal things legal? I mean, forgetting that that's exactly what laws are supposed to do.
Like to do away with they want to do away with everything. The flag, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, our history. They want to take it all out of the history books.
No, nobody's trying to do that. Nobody's trying to get rid of the flag. Nobody's trying to take history out of history books. What was the other thing?
The flag, the Constitution.
Yeah, no one's trying to get rid of the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. That's all in your head.
Take it all out of the history books. They want to destroy all that. They want you to be raised as a child. They want you to know only what's wicked and evil, that it's okay to do that.
I don't know what that means.
And so they don't want to just run the country, even like a normal country. They want to defile and defile it. That's what their plan is.
Get a grip, Kat. Really. At what point is it too far? At what point should her family step in and say, I'm going to need to take your keys and I'm pulling this plug to the internet out of the wall. I am ripping it out of the wall and calling every phone and internet company in the area and telling them not to work with you. At what point do they put her in like an inpatient kind of asylum or whatever? If not now, then when?
Stop it. Get some help.
Really? I mean, that's funny. That's a meme, but this is real. She thinks people are drinking baby blood and stealing kids to eat them. And she thinks that people are trying to transition 6-year-olds in school without the parents knowing. It's time for an inpatient program now, right? Tell me what you think.